If I've learned anything about pastry shops in Paris, it's that the simple pastries can be surprisingly difficult to make really well. So I'd like to introduce you to a pastry chef in Paris who is a master at transforming those seemingly simple French pastries into something extraordinary. And I have to say, I've learned a thing or two about French pastries since visiting over 67 Parisian pâtisseries, which is the French word for pastry shop, ever since a long-term illness led me to living part-time in the City of Lights. Another thing I've learned is that some of the best pâtisseries may not be in my travel guidebooks, or the information in them may be outdated. So I've asked an acquaintance of mine here in Paris to take me to one of her favorite pâtisseries called Jacques Sheena. Uta leads guided gastronomical food tours through her business, Unique Taste Experiences in Paris. The Jacques Sheena boutique is located at 133 Rue de Turenne and is named after the man who is the boutique's pastry chef and chocolatier, as well as its owner. I learned so much from Uta because she has her finger on the pulse of the finest foods in Paris, and she stays up to date about such things as which patisseries have a new talented chef, as well as which boutiques are coasting on their reputations. You may not find Jacques Sheena in your Paris guidebook because Monsieur Genin opened his boutique only 2 years ago, after having spent years working for other people. But already Genin is turning out what Uta considers to be the best chocolate eclairs in Paris, as well as the best millefeuille, Saint-Honoré, and lemon tarts. As if this weren't enough reason to visit, at Jacques Sheena you'll also find outstanding chocolates and a lovely tea salon. I'd like to introduce you to Uta. Uta, tell me why this is one of your favorite chocolate and pastry shops in Paris.
Jacques Sheena, to me, is one of the best chocolatiers and patisserie shops in Paris. One of the reasons is that Jacques Sheena is one of the very few people that actually produces all of his chocolates and his pastries in-house. He only has one shop in Paris, and none of his products ever see the inside of a van, and everything's being prepared with a lot of passion and love. Jacques is also, in my view, one of the absolute masters here in Paris with Choux Pastry. Choux Pastry is the pastry that you use to make an eclair. He makes eclairs with different fillings. He makes cream puffs, and one of the absolute specialities in his shop, according to my view, is his millefeuille. The millefeuille, if you translate it into English, it's 1,000 layers. It's layers of puff pastry filled with crème anglaise, crème pâtissier, which is like a vanilla custard type filling, and Jacques is the only person in Paris that will only assemble the layers of the puff pastry with the crème pâtissier when you order it at his counter. All the other patisseries will have them pre-made in their vitrines, and very often it means you get a soggy product which is inferior. So for the best millefeuille, the best eclairs, as well as the best lemon tart, come to Paris to visit Jacques Sheena.
Another thing I've learned since living part-time in Paris is that Parisians tend to place a high value on quality, whereas we Americans tend to emphasize quantity, such as how we tend to want our food and products at rock-bottom prices and have many choices available. I find this cultural difference can even be true when it comes to pastry. So, for example, Chef Jacques Sheena's priority is to make sure that everything he creates is of exceptional quality. All of his chocolates have the same soft chocolate ganache centers and the same square shape, and in order to assure that each piece is of outstanding quality, Jacques Sheena doesn't guarantee that he'll offer all flavors every day. This is because he uses seasonal flavors, so if he isn't satisfied with the quality of raspberries that day, for instance, he simply won't make his raspberry chocolates. Monsieur Genet's passionate nature was even evident when I asked him this question. Monsieur Genin, pourquoi avez-vous choisi d'ouvrir votre boutique dans ce bâtiment?
En fait, j'ai ouvert il y a 2 ans parce que l'endroit, je suis tombé amoureux de l'endroit, uniquement. Je suis venu revoir l'endroit et c'est un endroit abandonné, mais un endroit qui avait un grand vécu, un endroit qui était classé monument historique et cet endroit avant tout c'était une, comment ça s'appelle, c'était une roseraie. En fait, un peu comme un jardin d'hiver mais fermé. Et donc je me suis dit, allez, on y va. Puis j'ai trouvé l'endroit beau, quoi, voilà. C'est uniquement ça qui m'a poussé. Parce qu'avant, j'avais été voir à Opéra, à Madeleine, j'ai été voir d'autres endroits, mais j'ai pas eu la flamme. Et quand j'ai vu celui-là, j'ai dit, waouh. Et puis quand tu es dehors, que tu regardes le bâtiment, tu as l'impression d'avoir un bateau. Le bateau, tu as la fontaine et j'ai dit, bon, allez, allons-y.
In order to fully enjoy and appreciate Monsieur Genin's pastries, I find it important to sit down while eating them, such as in his lovely tea salon, bringing my full attention to each bite. If I eat them while walking down the street or checking my text messages, I can miss out on what makes his pastries so exceptional. This is something else I learned from the French, how eating on the run or while otherwise distracted can not only drain the pleasure out of the experience, but also make it more likely that I'll overeat. This realization is something like the lesson that I've learned time and again over the course of my 19-year illness. That is, that when I take the time to focus on the present moment, I savor even small details of my day, and then I begin to see how extraordinary those simple moments of my life can be. Would you like to learn about another patisserie with exceptional pastries and specialty breads located in a beautiful bakery which dates back to 1889? I'll show you in my video, Paris Pastries to Live and Love By.